Hey Helen, I'm heading to the salon. I desperately need a blowout.
We have lots to talk about. Meet you there in 5.
This is the Blowout Podcast. The salon industry is not in good shape.
Sure isn't.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Blowout Podcast, and it is kindly sponsored by Weller Professionals. You're with Haylee, Benton and the amazing Helen Ward. Hello.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk about retail.
Yeah. It's not my favourite subject.
Do you feel like everybody, when you say retail now, goes...
Everyone just goes like that, don't they? I mean, to be fair, we've been going like that for decades, but it's just harder than it's ever been.
What's your percentage of retail at the moment, do you think?
Oh, crap. I mean...
Be honest, what's the percentage?
I mean, look, we always used to say, didn't we, 10% should be retail. I mean, I never hit 10%. Never.
Well, that would be great.
Not once. I used to be happy with like 5. I just find it so bloody difficult. And because this is a safe space for salon owners, you know, this is not what I tell my team.
I hope your team aren't listening.
I know, that's the worry, isn't it? I do acknowledge to them that it is difficult because, you know, you see it, you feel it. So much has changed. And I think the way the manufacturers work has changed so much. And that has, you know, every action has a consequence, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like, I think for me, I'm also a culprit of I'm buying stuff online as well. Yeah. So if I was going to a normal salon, would I be buying it from the salon or would I be buying it from online? I'd probably do what other people are doing, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I just spoke to one of our apprentices this morning who kindly did my hair. Thank you, Diane. And I was saying to her, you know, one of the episodes is going to be about retail. How do you find retail? She said, I find it really hard. You know, this is an 18-year-old girl who's trying to sell retail and, you know, trying to build their confidence and trying to, you know, and I said, is it fear of rejection? She said, no, it's just the fact that I can see them, I'm recommending it and they're going online on their phone in front of me and buying it online because it's cheaper on Look Fantastic. I know we shouldn't really say brand names on here, but it's the truth.
But it's cheaper with some of the brands' own websites. They're undercutting salon owners.
That's not right.
You know, the brands themselves. So it's not just, you know, we also, you know, we blame the main online brand names, but actually it's the brands themselves that are doing the damage too.
Yeah, and like, when did that all start, do we think? Was it pre-COVID or...?
It's a difficult one. I think COVID exacerbated everything. I think it sort of shone a microscope on a problem that was already there.
It's maybe they used it as an excuse.
I think they did. I mean, the thing is, I get that if we were MDs of brands, right, say we're CEO of a big hair care brand, we're going to do what we can to maximise the sales of that brand. And we're going to look at how people shop and we're going to say, you know, that's the way to go. I get that. What I have more of an issue with is how they deal with that with the professional sector, because there are so many brands out there that have come about, have actually... Their inception, their success has been down to the professional sector adopting them. You know, you are an early adopter of a brand and that brand has success. And then the next step for that brand, especially if it gets sold to a VC, is to maximise it. So they're going to put it on the QVCs, the shopping channels, and they're going to look at just going direct online and actually just cut the middleman out. But the fact is, for us, the salon owners, we've always got to be trying to identify brands that the customer can't get anywhere else.
That's right.
And the minute we make them successful, then they're gone. And we've got to move on to the next thing.
Unless someone comes up with a really clever way of incentivizing salons. You know, that we're going to be recommending your products, and yes, the client might buy them online because that's the way the world works, but there needs to be a kickback for that.
Yeah. We've been saying that for years, haven't we?
And they're trying to do it, but it's not not good enough. Like it can't be tracked, it can't be measured. You know, it's. I remember having.
Do you think that's on purpose? The cynic in me wonders why they can't do a referral.
They can, but I've been told that it's sort of it's very complex. I'm like, is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Is it very complex, really? It's a QR code with a link.
Yeah.
Just like an affiliate scheme like Amazon do with influencers, right? And
Yeah.
actually, the salons, beauty salons, skin clinics, they're all micro-influencers if you think about it.
They are. You know, I saw an advert at a bus stop. I can't say the brand name, but you might figure it out from what I'm going to say. And the strap line was now available at professional hairdressers instead of available now at professional hairdressers. It's like eat, shoots and leaves. You know that I put the comma in the wrong place and it has a completely different meaning. Mm-hmm. Now available made it sound like it wasn't available before. And this is a salon professional brand. So available now makes it sound like this is a new product. So I just question the motive. I question the ethics of some of the brands.
Because even if they just held back a couple of their, I don't know, big hero products, so at least you could only get that in store, entice people to try and use them, and then go and buy them online or something like that.
Well, it's like what I call straight to DVD, isn't it? You know, you see, especially with the bigger organisations, you see something start professional, then within a few months of it being successful, it's available in the B-list brand that might be in a Space NK or something. Then a few months later, it's available in the C-list brand, which is in Boots. And all that work you've done of building up something as a salon exclusive thing is out the window. But they still want the salons to do. I sometimes feel, are we just like the testers, the guinea pigs?
Well, yeah, I mean, most people have retail targets from the manufacturer that they're with.
They never seem to get adjusted, though, do they? To
No.
reflect this
You're
activity,
like, okay,
this
so we're
change.
still having to do 10% retail, but I mean, we're nowhere near that. We're like 2 or 3% if we're lucky. It's, to be honest, and it's a cash flow problem as well, because it's like, so we're having to try and keep our stock, you know, on the shelf so it doesn't look empty, and so that we can still look good to everybody that we're using. But actually, it's just dead money sitting on the shelf. Like,
it is.
If I went past all of the products, I'll do that. There's just dust on it. I'm like, well, this has clearly been here for like more than a month.
And I think we've all got, I mean, your example of Diane is so true. I mean, I look out to the salon floor, and we have people, like I'm sure you do, who are brilliant retailers. They advise, prescribe, they go through the whole consultation process, and even they sit there, and that customer, and whatever you do with loyalty points and take it away with you now, it's just a cultural thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, my children will Deliveroo things when we've got a Joe and the Juice at the end of the bloody road. What do you mean you're Deliverooing it? Just get your ass out of bed and go and get it.
I know.
I think it's that, but it's also, I think the brands, you know, some of the brands are really greedy.
Yeah, and if they just flipped it around a little bit, because, for instance, like, have you seen that hair care brand Shampoo or something like that? I see it everywhere. It's like a TikTok thing.
Yeah.
So there's, and then lots of skincare brands like Korean, skincare. There's so much stuff that's only
It's like
available.
K-pop's become a thing in hair care and skincare at the moment,
Exactly.
hasn't it?
So those big retailers or big manufacturers, they're competing with these little pop-ups, you know, that are literally just online. So I'm sort of thinking, why not spin it around a little bit and then go back to the people that can actually influence it? Because, you know, there's, what is there, 65,000 hair and beauty salons in the UK. Say if each one of them had a minimum of 5 people, that's a lot of people to try and get the word out there from a professional point of view. No, you shouldn't buy that terrible skincare off TikTok because you don't know what's in it. This has been tested, you know, all these sorts of things. I don't know. I think
It needs a real
shake up.
It does. And I think that the salon owners are the ones that lose out and suffer all the time.
But also it's hard because we're constantly trying to give the team some new toys, they like testing out new products. It's very hard as I say, when you're really tight on margins, tight on profit, do you really want to go and spend £2,000 on a new product range? Not really.
Especially with beauty. I mean, let's have it right. Beauty, if you the investment that you have to have to stock a line that has, 25 SKUs, that you have to have an opening order value of X.
For
that's
all the
a
different
hell of a
skin
lot
types.
of money sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah. And I suppose that's the only good thing about, whilst beauty, for me personally, is really hard at the moment, I think the retail is better because the people that we use, the manufacturers, they are very much like skin clinic only at the moment.
So there's the availability factor, but it's also, do you not think it's like the prescriptive factor? They're feeling
medical
safe,
grade.
Yeah.
They feel like
safe with their practitioner. Their advice is really robust. They're feeling that it's, they should buy this product.
And maybe that's where we need to take it back to. Maybe I do think, for instance, here, stylists might have just given up because they think, what is the point?
We've given up.
I know.
I've given up. I've given up. It's just so bloody difficult. And I think the thing is as well, it's like the whole sort of Wolf of Wall Street thing, isn't it? Sell me the pen. They get hairdressers, they're not, if they feel they have to sell something, they can't do it. No. If you say to them, sell this.
They've got to love it.
They've got to love it. It's got to be very natural. It's got to be part of the whole advice thing. And, for sort of the last 25 years, I've been saying to my team, don't sell anything. Just advise, prescribe, recommend. But as you say, nowadays we've got the added factor of the client just sitting in the chair, ordering it as we speak.
Do you know, I just had an idea for our next podcast.
Oh my God. I thought she was going to say it's another business.
No. God, no, don't worry, calm down. But no, I was thinking for, how we're trying to interview more and more people. This is real scandalous and maybe we might have to cut this out. But what about we had, say, 2 or 3 of the top people from certain manufacturers sit down on a round table with us neutrally and be like, how do we solve this as a problem for the salon industry?
Yeah. Let's do it.
What's your thoughts on it? How do they see it?
But then, you see, we could, but then are they not complicit? Because they're the ones that are putting it on Amazon and undercutting us on their own websites. If you make that decision to put a product, so we've had products. We had a product range in Waitrose, and we also, before that, had a product range on QVC. We've also had a brush, as you know.
Under Richard Ward.
The brush was Tangle Angel. Under the Richard Ward brand, we had our products back in the day on QVC, and then we had products in Waitrose. And, I get there are challenges galore with products. I mean, it's not a thing to go into lightly. And, a lot of salon owners, well, I'm going to start my own product range. Well, back in the day, you probably could, but now it's really bloody difficult. And, if you look at those ranges that you now see, I get why you've got to make a decision, haven't you? You're either going to put it online yourself, or you're going to fight what they call the grey market with people selling your products directly online as if it's you, but it's not you. It's another grey market that's selling them. So this is where you get into, for instance, with our brush, our Tangle Angel brush. That was being made in China. We tried to get it made in the UK. The costs were just extortionate. So we had to have it made in China. And, it was and I can probably, actually, should I say this? I'll probably get taken out for saying No, I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it and then we'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out later, yeah. Helen's body was found in the canal. But no. So, it's one in the box and one over there.
Yeah.
And then you go, right, well, we get a barcode on it. That's the thing to do. Look, lots of the brands have been very vocal about fighting the grey market. They sell it to someone. They can't control that person putting it on Amazon or whatever. And unless you've got legs on the ground in the country concerned, it's practically impossible to police it. But what the grey market does, and we've all seen things in TK Maxx and professional product ranges in there. Now, you'd like to think that stock is grey market stock and not coming direct from the manufacturer. But it has been known that sometimes it's coming direct from the manufacturer as well.
Because they're trying to get rid of their
Rid of it. So, we're fighting something. So then they go, well, if you can't beat them, join them. We'll open a salon with X online retailer or Y online retailer, and then we can, or Y retailer, and then we can put it online, and then we can make that money. But hey, the salon owners are still under very, very strict SLA agreement, distribution agreements, and how we sell the products. So I think
we're kind of handcuffed, aren't we?
We're sort of handcuffed, and they've got the freedom to do what they want with the product that we've sort of built for them.
That's right, because you can think of so many brands that started through word of mouth in a salon. And now
look at GHD.
Yeah.
That's a prime example. And, we say we're not going to mention brands, but there's nothing wrong in saying this. GHD started with professional hairdressers. We were one of the first salons in London to have it. And, look at it now. How many times has it changed hands? And, it's been bought out and bought back and
that's
whatever.
A strong brand name as well, isn't it? You don't say, I'm just going to get a pair of hair straighteners. You're like, oh, where's my GHDs, even if they're not GHD.
It's like hoovering, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's, I don't know what the solution is, because we can either sit here and complain about it, but what is the solution? What do we do?
I think it's really hard because it's out of our control. So then what you have to do, I presume, is to do what we do and say, right, when I look at my retail shelves, what have I got that the customer's going to have to buy from me because she can't get it anywhere else? But actually, it's minimal, because even if it's a very niche brand, that's even a new brand starting out, you can still get it online.
Or like the offer has to be good enough that is nowhere else. Like, yes, you could get the product, but the offering, it needs to be something different. But again, we can only get that if the manufacturers will work with us on it. We've been focusing more on, instead of, we don't have a retail, well, we have a retail goal, but we're also including treatments in that now, because it's kind of like
backwash treatments.
Yeah, because it's like, what can the client not get when they're at home, and focusing on all the things that we can do in store. And I mean, you're trying to just generate lots of new things internally, but it's hard. It's hard work. But what's hard is that the manufacturer will say, you've got to reach this target. And you're like, but you're making it impossible to reach the target. I'm not really sure what to do with that information.
Yeah, you've got to reach the target, because why? Because that is part of your target that you've got to reach, not how.
Or you can't stock it otherwise. I'm like, but I mean, should I just not bother stocking it?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I think it is a bigger question overall, is to deciding what brand you want to partner with. I remember I'm going to be very careful how I use my words here. Right. A beauty brand, a well-known brand that launched a beauty range that we were stocking in the salon, and it didn't work very well. And it was because in the treatment rooms, I think we've sort of touched on this a little bit before, but there was no theatre with the brand. With us, we've got to have the theatre. And this is what you're saying about the treatments. There's a certain theatre of mixing up the treatment, applying the treatment, having it done at a lovely lay-down backwash, etc. There's got to be the theatre. There's got to be something that's different that you can't do at home. And I think so many brands, when you talk to the brands and they say, well, but what do you want as a customer? I mean, for me, and I don't know, I want to ask you what you think, but for me, it's all about, how are they helping me shift the stock off the shelves? What are they giving me? What tools, what diagnostics, what theatre do I get for my team to help to make that experience, buying it from us, more something the customer's going to be more engaged with? So for me, it's that. What are they doing to keep it professional? What are they doing to make it professional? And what tools are they giving us to upsell, to protect that customer spend? I mean, what do you want from a brand?
Well, my ultimate goal would be to have an option that you can only get this particular offer in store. Like, it might be you get a free little product with it. You can't get that anywhere else. Just like offers that are only salon based.
What, and them promoting that for you?
Something like that, or driving people in.
Yeah.
I mean, L'Oreal won't mind me saying this because I've said it to them myself, but when they launched in Boots, that was quite a big thing, for salons. That was like, what? Why have they gone to Boots? Kerastase is a really luxury brand to put it in Boots, but apparently, it was only in a few Boots stores, but it wasn't the point. And I think if they'd communicated that a bit better to the salons and made them feel part of it, that might have been slightly different. So I said, in hindsight, it's always very well in hindsight, but maybe you could have got together a group of salons to say, hey, look, we're thinking of doing this because we need to do this. There's many reasons why they needed to do it, and I actually understand those reasons. But maybe something like a QR code on that bottle of Kerastase that someone buys from Boots, and if you buy the bottle from Boots, then you get a free treatment at the salon down the road, a physio dose treatment for so that you're trying to say, well, we're going to try and bring more people to your salon, driving the traffic another way. So just trying to, again, I'm saying that because it's an open conversation I've had with them, and I'm sure many people that are with L'Oreal might have felt the same way. But now they're trying to backtrack and try and figure out, how do they make it work? How do they make it right?
I mean, being in a few physical bricks and mortar stores is always the key to opening up the whole of the online platform, isn't it? And that's always the means to the end. I mean, that is the end result that the brands want. They want to have that online, all those online sales. Yeah. So the fact, I mean, you go back to the big online retailers in our sector, and they've got a bricks and mortar shop somewhere, and that's opened the door for them to be able to sell the product online. Yeah. So we all know why they do things. All the brands do it. The fact is, I think they have to understand that, as you say, we need a bit of a kickback. We need a payback. We need something where we can gain from this. And I do think that, the manufacturers that want to stay professional, some of those are winning because the salon owner feels like that's a safe pair of hands because they're focusing on the professional sector. The big brands, we know what we're up against now. And although the customers want it on their hair at the backwash, which is what our customers want, they're very unlikely to buy it from us. So I think you're right. I think there has to be some sort of payback for where it came from.
Payback, but also to continue moving forward with it, because I think there will be a time that in the next 5 years, what is the point in stocking retail?
Yeah.
You're just, and the margins aren't a lot on retail. As I say, because you're having to pay it out with cash, you're having to pay the bill before it's sold. So it's literally just sitting on the shelf. And I just hate seeing it. I walk past any of the salons and I think, oh my God, how much money is on that shelf? When are they going to sell it?
But this is why we try and diversify. I mean, there is such a lot of things that we sell that actually do well. Supplements are doing really well.
Yeah, I remember those hair vitamins. That you were talking
supplements. The market for supplements is massively in growth, as we know. Post-COVID, and people of a certain age, menopausal hair loss and sparsening. That's all really growing.
Because that's specialist, isn't it? And you want to go to someone that you trust if you're losing your hair.
Yes,
That's
and
a
we've got to
different thing.
remember that, some of the things that we sell, if you were to buy them, the ones of that brand, you buy them in Boots, it's like buying a Pritt stick. Well, we're selling super glue. These are hardcore supplements. They're like the pro supplements. So I think that is a market that's selling well. But I think there's a lot of untapped stuff. I mean, we're always on the lookout for brushes, hair accessories, good electricals, stuff that is niche. I mean, you try and buy a decent hair accessory now, a decent clip, a decent, a really well-made, beautiful clip or something. And that's the sort of thing that people will buy from us because they can't be bothered to try and find it online. It's a one-off thing. So I think we have to diversify in what we sell as well.
Good idea. Because I didn't really think of that because we're only selling like skincare or
Okay, but there's brushes. I mean, Nando found these brushes from Portugal. These amazing brushes, and they are wonderful. They're really fantastic. And so the staff started saying, "Oh, what's that brush you've got?" And then we started to buy them. I mean, they're expensive to buy, but you can
it's
still
unique
make some dosh on it.
like you could probably
The
buy them
margins
online.
are slim, but but can you be asked? You've got to try and find it and take a picture of it and try and find it online. So I think diversifying out into other things, I think that's the key. I mean, with beauty, I think it's harder as well. We've always had of two very diverse ranges. So we've always had like a very sort of high-end medical sort of range, and then we've always had a very plant-based, beauty through science or beauty through nature sort of approach. And that's really worked for us because our clients have, what we can't have is 3 brands that are all vanilla. So we have SkinCeuticals and we have Aveda. And so one is very plant-based, and if you want something very plant-based and very natural and very holistic, that's for you. SkinCeuticals, as you know, is much more high grade, much more problem-solving. And I think you've sort of got to pick ranges that give your clients a bit of diversity. What do you think? What do you use for beauty?
So we use we used to use Esper.
Yeah.
But again, you've got that organic, beautiful, like luxury, it's used in all the luxury spas. But then we've seen that people want results. So whilst it does results, it's not results driven like DermaQuest, for instance, or Lumiere or IS Clinical, those sorts of medical or SkinCeuticals, those sorts of brands. But I think for a small salon, it's hard because you've got these opening orders that are like $2,000 a time.
They're prohibitive.
So to choose between an organic one or you kind of have to decide, unless you've got a really strong retail background, which one do you go for? It's hard to pick. But I think beauty will win over here.
But what do you look for in terms of a brand partner? What sort of support are you looking for aside from the whole retail and what they're doing with that?
So training and education, that's one reason. Again, we'll say this openly. So Esper are owned by the Hut Group, who also own Look Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's
everything.
What a weird situation, It's kind of like... And when the Hut Group took over, again, happy to talk to you, Matthew Moulding, who owns the Hut Group. But
you heard it here. She's gunning for you.
But it's hard because so Esper used to be amazing with education. We used to get loads of training, and then it all dropped off because it's very online focused. Or you watch this video of how to do this particular facial, and you're like, that's not really helpful. And I think the girls want to feel re-energized with it. It's not so much that they need to know what they're doing, but they need to fall in love with the brand. And if my team don't love the brand, they're just not going to sell the treatments, and they're not going to sell the product.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. You've got to love it. You've got to love products. You've got to love the product.
You know who used to do something really well? I don't know if they still do it, but there's a company, I think you know them, the Sweet Squared.
Yeah. Sweet Squared Sam,
and I went to one of their events many years ago, like 10 years ago, and the way that they made their customers feel about everything, like the shellac that they were buying, C&D shellac, I think they were the distributor for. But they made all of these nail technicians so excited, and they were never going to go anywhere else apart from C&D.
Yeah.
And it's making them fall in love with that brand and people getting obsessed over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you don't invest in education because you're trying to cut costs as a manufacturer, which I completely understand, but all you're doing is making people feel out of love with the product.
Don't you find, though, when a product hits the big time and gets bought out, and of course it's, if you start a product, that's your dream. I mean, it didn't really quite happen for us with anything we did, unfortunately, but it was always the dream. But whoever buys it is going to swallow it. I always think like it's the little fish and a great big whale coming. That's how I always envisage it in my head, that they are going to take that product and they are going to cut the corners. And the thing, because they don't know the brand, and this is where a lot of the time you find people then buying it back. The original person. I mean, that's happened with like Amanda Wakely and all sorts of brands, not just in our particular field, but they will cut the corners, like you say. Let's knock out the train. Don't need that. Do it all online. Obviously never been into a beauty salon and had a facial in his life, because otherwise he would know that you can't do that. And it's actually, to love the brand, you've got to be loyal to the brand. To be loyal to the brand, you've got to fall in love with the treatment itself. And with beauty, it's as much about the treatment as what's in the container, isn't it?
It sure is. But I think in sort of 5 or 10 years' time, I don't know whether I was reading an article about people who've got with social media, they're exhausted by social media. And I think in the next 5 years, we're going to see a decline on people going on social media. I've actually found it myself where I'm like, I don't want to scroll constantly now, and then I'm getting an advert here and an advert here. And I actually think the big retailers, manufacturers, they're going to need people, actual people, word of mouth, because that's where the trust will happen again. It won't be these influencers. You're going to be talking to the person that you actually know and going, what are you using? It will go, I'm hoping it will go back full circle.
I think you're right. I think it will. I think things are cyclical. Hemlines are cyclical. Music tastes are cyclical. I think you're right. I think it is. I think the whole influencer thing with brands, it just doesn't have the credibility that the hands of the professional has. So I think that the brands that are going to win now should be planning for that, should be plotting that. If it was you and I having a brand, we'd be sitting there going,
what brand are we going to make now then?
Oh God, blimey. But if we did, can you imagine? We'd be sitting there going, this is where we've got to get to in 5 years' time. Not now, not looking at sales for the next 6 months. We've got to think what's happening in 5 years' time. What are the trends? And I think you're bang on.
It's all I can do is from my own experience of like you constantly see like this Korean skincare keeps coming up. I must have gone and said Korean skincare and then everything's on my phone. But it is a bit exhausting. It feels too fake now. And I want to talk to someone.
What's the big shit about Korean skincare?
Oh, it's just apparently it makes your face more glowy, and I don't know. Apparently they look like glass skin. Oh, that's the new thing.
Try that.
You don't need it, Helen.
Wrinkles.
But I think with AI, and I'll keep referring, I'm like the AI queen. AI is going to make people think: is someone just telling me this because they're getting paid to do it, or do they actually?
And I think young people are as cynical about it as we are. I'm very cynical about something that I see on my phone. I think you're right. I think we have to be cynical. And so, yes, getting back to I mean, if you think about it, big hairdressers, big names in the hairdressing industry used to be brand ambassadors, and that was before influencers and things like that. And it was the professional endorsement that the brands were after, not the popular endorsement, not the person that's just come off Love Island or whatever it is. It was the professional endorsement that had the legs. That was what gave it credibility.
Interesting brand that I've sort of seen upcoming is Caroline
Herons. Yeah.
Her skin rocks. Mm-hmm. And I keep seeing it because they've just opened the professional side of it, and really talking about education and focusing on the therapists, and it's about the therapist.
Well, she is a therapist, isn't she?
Exactly.
And that's the magic. And she did a lot to help the Hair and Beauty charity during COVID.
Yeah, I just think people like that, they will win long term, because it's more about, how do we get the stylist or the therapist engaged, because they're the ones that are going to recommend it. And I think the internet or social media, that's lost. It's lost its way a little bit.
It's lost its credibility, I think. I think people have got the T-shirt on it, haven't they?
I think they do.
And it's not just me being old and cynical.
No, it's not. But I do think.
Hey, you're saying I'm
it would
old
be
and
great.
cynical?
No, you're not old or cynical. But I would love to sit down with a couple of the top dogs at the manufacturers.
Well, should we challenge them?
Yeah.
Here's the challenge.
Yeah.
If you're the owner of one of the big brands and you
Or
know
MD,
who you are,
CEOs.
or CEO, or then we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to hear what you want to do and how important the professional sector is to you and what you're intending to do with it. Because we would have a plan for it, because that's just our nature, and I'm sure you do. So let's hear it.
Or we can combat it together. You've obviously got your own problems and we've got our own problems, but we need each other, really, don't we? So there's got to be a solution.
It's got to be. It's the partnership is the important bit.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. Well, maybe we'll leave on that part, but...
Leave on that note. You heard it. There's the challenge. She's laid down the gauntlet.
But we'd love to hear what you think about retail. Like, are you struggling? How are you getting on with retail? Are we just really bad at it? I'd love to hear who's on 10% of their sales with retail.
So would I.
Please give us some tips. So
we need your help.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. And thanks to our sponsor, Weller Professionals.
Yes, thank you very much, Weller.